Welcome to the Step by Step podcast by Hidden Strength. We really hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Step by Step, the podcast by Hidden Strength. And today, it's a pretty special episode, not just with the topic that we're talking about, but we've got someone back for their second episode on the pod, and that's Leo.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Shamai.
Yeah.
How are we?
All good.
This episode wasn't really planned when we were looking at others that are going out and whatnot, but felt, given the state of the world and what's going on sometimes in the UK, but majorly outside of the UK, we felt it was super important to have this discussion and have this space.
Yeah.
Do you feel comfortable talking a bit more about why?
Well, I'm transgender, and with the way the world is, and like even here in the UK, like we're still very I don't know, would stigmatise be the right word? Like, people look at us different when we're actually we're just people just trying to be a better version of ourselves, but born in the wrong body. So I don't know. We're just people trying to be ourselves, and we aren't. A lot of people don't like us for that, but we don't choose it, and it's not like I have chose it. But this is why I think it's important to talk about it.
I couldn't agree more. Like, you were just trying your best to be your authentic self and to be in a society. For full transparency, I will never know to the extent, because this is your lived experience. Like, you know the realities of what that's like, not just in 2025, but in the 21st century in general. Yeah. Do you feel comfortable talking more about that journey?
So I came out in, I think it was 2020. But before that, I've known since I was like a really young age. Like, my mum will say, like, my family knew before I knew, but like I was in like places where I couldn't really express myself as me, so I came out officially in 2020, and I remember it was genuinely a very scary day. I didn't know what was to come. I had just like kind of uprooted my life to become someone who I know I need to be. And yeah, that's like the beginning of it. I don't really know.
I mean, I don't think it is the beginning though, because you've just said that you had always known, your family knew before you knew, which is really, really interesting. And like saying it, how from a young age the signs were there, and especially at a time where the idea of even being queer was still so alien. Can you talk a bit more about what those signs were when you were younger?
There was a lot. I really, really didn't like anything feminine. I hated the way I had really like afro curly hair. I remember it'd be out here, and like I absolutely hated it, and I couldn't anything associated with anything feminine. I couldn't be like I'd put it on, and I would just, I don't know how to describe the feeling to you, because it's a very like it feels like it's just not right. And like it kind of plays with your brain a little bit, because you're like, what's going on? Like, why do I feel like this? Like this, I'm just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like and like I'd see other people, and like other people my age, and they would be wearing like makeup and dresses and stuff, and I'd be like, nah, that's not me. And I remember I got a chance to cut my hair, and I cut it off. It was pretty much the same as this, and I remember feeling so free just from that. So I think I've gone on a bit of a tangent.
Nah, not a thing, because it's all relating to your experience. And like you said, just even the things that growing up we're conditioned to associate being the norm. So growing up as an AFAB, assigned female at birth, and that automatically links you in with the pinks, the pastels, the dresses.
Yeah.
You're conditioned from such an early age to fall into that category and engage in those behaviours, whether that's dress sense or kind of toys or how you act. So to immediately recognise that that didn't suit you.
Yeah, there's a lot of like signs and feelings that like and like my mum or my dad, they'll say stuff and like they just like knew, like when I was like a young child, do you know, like Dora the Explorer, I'd rather watch like Thomas the Tank and stuff like that. I used to be kitted out, just stuff like that, and like always going for the other option. I know like it's 2025, girls don't just play with girls toys, boys don't just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just let people be them, let people figure it out, do you know what I mean? But back then it was just if you're a girl, you play with girls toys, and you know what I mean? So yeah, there was a lot of things, but
did you ever feel comfortable voicing that uncomfortableness with kind of friends, family, caregivers?
I would try, but the places I was in, I didn't feel comfortable, until I kind of it was about to break me, or I was just I just had to be like, do you know what, just it can't be worse than living like this, and I took the thing and I just went for it.
So with that, I was going to ask, because from such a young age, and I can't do the maths off the top of my head, how old you were in 2020, but
16.
So there is a significant amount of time, like there's years here where you haven't felt comfortable or able to just be your authentic self and to be honest. How does that manifest? Like, that's so much bottling.
It's horrible, and especially when I see a lot of things and I'm like, why do people just hate me so much? Like, I don't feel like I feel like I'm a good person, like I'm a very bubbly person, like I have a decent personality and stuff, but I know when it comes to comes down to the fact that I'm trans, people, if I don't know them, they're always like what, or just confused, or like can't understand it, and because they can't understand it, they can't like process it, and they automatically see me as a bad person. I feel so. I don't know. It's very hard to deal with, to be honest. I don't like really going out because I don't feel like my body looks the way it should look, and I don't pass. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But even growing up, and I think for people who haven't watched your first episode where you talked more about your experiences growing up in care and being a care leaver, how did all of that bottling in your younger years impact you? Did you engage in more risky behaviours? Were you lashing out because there'd been no processing there of your reality, whether that was I didn't have a space to or you chose not to?
I struggled a lot with it. I really I had a lot of behaviours that were just unhealthy, stuff like that, but how, I don't know, like when you feel a certain way and you can't talk to people about it, it's like how do you process it? So it messes you up a lot, and people are just like, oh, like he just wants to be a girl, or she wants to be, do you know what I mean? And it's always about like which toilets to use. They don't take it down to the first part where we are just trying to be ourselves. We're not trying to hurt anyone. We're just trying to live ourselves. So I don't know, it takes a lot out of you, and it's very hard to deal with, as especially when I was younger.
It just sounds exhausting.
It is. It's
And-
getting better though. Well, it's getting better to an extent, but getting worse again to another extent.
Because, I mean, and we'll go into this in more detail, of course, but having your younger years, knowing your truth but not feeling able to voice that, and you can't process internally, because that opens up a lot of overthinking. If you're going through it again and again and again, you start creating scenarios that don't even exist, but you can't work out the difference between that. And you mentioned about unhealthy behaviors, which of course impacts how you are growing up in your relationships, whether that's romantic, personal, professional.
Yeah.
And it sounds like now, and this is only just from looking at the news, it feels awfully triggering, because now that you're out, and even though I think we can talk about it, this idea of coming out, like it's some significant event, where why do we need to have a big event to just you speaking your truth? And it feels like in the modern day, you have people now going through that process again, but you're out.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It's just what it is, isn't it?
Well, no, it's not. Because that, it is what it is, just means, oh yeah, we'll just settle, this is our reality. And
Yeah,
it shouldn't have to be.
No, it shouldn't have to be. Like, nobody should be made to feel this way. But people who higher up, who have power, who, like, if I was to say now to a group of people about this, okay, and like a big prime minister was able to speak to millions, billions of people on his opinion of it, my opinion's nothing. So, like, I don't know. I don't know. I've lost it, yeah.
No, you haven't lost it. I just think it's really overwhelming, and not many people, and you've just touched upon it there, not many people get the chance to have a voice and to openly talk about their experiences and their feelings in a safe way.
Yeah.
There's always that kind of thought in your back of the head going, oh, they're going to think this, they're going to treat me differently, where you know in this space that's absolutely not the case. But the reason for doing this podcast, and the conversation came from you actually, about having this conversation, and why was that?
Because we shouldn't hide away because what other people think of us. Just be you, be happy, and I don't know, just be safe, but just live your life. Like, if you're in a place where you're not safe, try to get somewhere that you are safe to be yourself, because really, if I had stuck, like, to just staying as the person I was before, I don't know what would have come, because I was so unhappy. Like, I'd wake up feeling sick looking at myself. Like, it's, I don't know, it's just, if you have got the chance to get out, go, just be yourself and just do you, because the world's gonna hate. The world's always gonna hate, and we are that 1%. What is it called? Minority who always get the brunt of it, and it's always a phase, or we're just creeps or stuff. It's just we're just people trying to be people. That's all.
Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. And it's so frustrating that there are so many people out there that just don't see you as anything other than just trying to be your best self. Why is there always got to be a kind of, but this is it, or there's some kind of preconceived stereotype? So like you said earlier, it is a complete taboo and stigmatized situation. You said about that transition and like coming out. How did that look for you?
It was, I don't know. I came out and like I went straight all in. I remember I was like, I'm done. I broke, and I remember the break because I was like, I'm not doing this any longer. Like I can't live like this. So I remember I had a job in Mackey's. So I took the sick, and when I got paid, I bought a whole new wardrobe of clothes.
Wow.
I changed my name legally, and I just was like, I'm gonna just be free. I don't care what other people think. I did care, but I just needed to do what I needed to do, and yeah, I bought a binder. First thing, and then yeah, I
Wow.
just tried living as me, and here I am. How many years later? I'm on testosterone. Yeah.
How was that process though? Even just
What, the testosterone?
yeah.
So I went on the waiting list on the NHS, and it was years long. It was so long. So I got a job, and I remember like literally doing back-to-back 12-hour shifts, like constantly. But I needed to get what I wanted, and paying for testosterone privately is literally is so expensive, and like just to get the testosterone is hundreds of pounds. So I paid for it privately, and after 3 months, the NHS took me on because I spoke to my GP, and he referred me because my mental health still wasn't good. Because obviously I just started pumping in different hormones. Do you know what I mean?
So how did that even come about? Did you, because you said about a waiting list, but that would be years and years. So did you have that initial conversation with the GP?
Oh yeah, I went to the GP, and I think I went to the GP in 2019 to talk about it.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't in a place where I was safe enough. So yeah, I just left it until, I mean left it, but I had to. Like, if I'd come out in like any of these other places, it wouldn't have worked. Like, the surrounding wouldn't be safe.
You never have to justify your actions when you know your truth and you know your reality to begin with.
Yeah.
You've got to do what's best for you, and like you said, it's making sure you're safe. Because you can get what you want, of course, but if you're not in a position to truly take that process on and begin that journey, it's going to be not pointless because you're becoming who you really are, but you're not really getting the most out of that. So that whole process, did you ever have to fight and kind of prove?
Well, I was supposed to get top surgery and 2 referrals. I was high up the list.
Yeah.
I had maybe a couple of months, 6 months left on the list, and both referrals got denied because of my mental health, which, if you were a trans person living in a body that you do not feel is yours, obviously you're going to have bad mental health.
Yeah.
Like, just having mental health on its own, but then being trans as well, it's just a whole another ball game. Like, it's really hard to deal with. So both referrals got denied, and yeah, now I'm unable to get that surgery at this moment in time.
With that and saying your mental health, was that a symptom and a consequence of being in a body that you knew wasn't yours?
Yeah.
But did they see it as that, or did the fact that you were
Didn't.
suffering?
I don't think they cared. They just took me off the list. And the third one didn't go through properly, or there was something like that. There was 3 that went through, 2 that got denied, and then 1 that, yeah. So it was all a mess. The gender service is so over, like, it's so many people waiting. It's just carnage.
So there are long waiting lists. The gender service is under-resourced but over capacity in regards to those needing that support.
Yeah.
But yet, looking in the news and everything happening in the world.
I'm very lucky to get it on the NHS, and I'm so lucky to have, I don't know, live in a country. It's not 100% safe here. Like, there's been stuff on the news about trans people getting attacked and hate crimes and stuff. It isn't safe here a lot of the time, but like in America right now, people are literally having like documents like taken, and I seen something and it was like, if you have a passport, you can't renew it. Like, so these people, they might not even be able to leave the US to go to a country which is safer.
Yeah.
Just the on their government website, it used to be LGBTQI, etc. But now it is just LGB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel sick. Like, makes me feel physically sick that there is this will cause so many, I don't even know if I can say the word, but it will cause so many deaths.
Oh yeah, of course
Like,
you can
this
say
is
it.
this is like literally what, if I couldn't live the way I live now, I don't want to live. It like, I don't want to, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is how much it means to me to be who I am. Like, I don't hurt anyone. I'm not like, like, it's, I don't know. I'm not a bad person, and I want people to know that. But, like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just impossible. It's like fighting something that I'm never going to win, but I will always fight for the people. Some people won't speak up. Some people sit there and just deal with it. And people shouldn't have to do that. People
No.
need someone to stand up and be like, "Oh, this ain't right."
Yeah.
We're people. We have feelings, like.
Oh my gosh, you almost got me going.
Don't start.
Don't start. Don't. Oh my god.
This-
Oh, it's a single tear. Oh, it's just awful. But you said it's impossible. But I mean, before you even get on to that, like, you've already alluded to, you haven't exactly said, but I think people watching and listening can put two and two together. When you said prior to coming out that living that way and kind of masking who you are and engaging those behaviours wasn't healthy and it wasn't safe.
No.
And
It's literally hell.
yeah.
Like honestly, imagine, I don't even know how I could describe it to you. It's just, you go outside, even now, I go outside, and I hate going outside. I hate leaving my house. I hate being seen by people, because I'm scared that I don't look right, and I got, like, with women, like, this, I'm scared that women will fear me, as just because I'm a man, and just, that's a whole different story, to be honest. But like, there's a lot of things that I really, really like. Relationships, like intimate relationships, I can't go near anyone because I hate my body. So I sit back and I don't know, live life from the sidelines until I'm able to be myself.
But why do you think it's an impossible fight to win?
Because the higher ups always need someone to blame for something, and we are in that minority. There's a few things that they always blame it on, and we're one of them. And people don't fight for it enough, and people don't get a chance to fight for it enough. And HS, Hidden Strength, Lindsay has given me another chance to talk about something else which means something to me, so I'm going to say it. I'm going to shout it from the rooftop. Sorry, my bad. That people, we're just people, just trying to be ourselves.
Yeah.
It's honestly not that hard to just be like, okay.
So what do we need to do?
Just support each other. Don't detransition for other people's, like, if someone's like, I can't deal with you, like, just, you need to go back. Don't do it. If you're unsafe, I don't know what to say about that, but if you're safe, leave.
I get it. If you're unsafe, you're not in a position to advise because you don't know a circumstance. So
Yeah.
that makes complete and utter sense. Higher ups, the decision makers, it's clear that they're not talking to the people their decisions are going to have an impact on.
No, they're not at all.
And the one thing that I think really stands out, not only is your passion, but the reality of what life is like being a part of the transgender community.
It's hell.
I want to ask you two things. Especially over into the US and kind of the situation there, and of course that news comes over into the UK, what would you say to anyone watching this video who can relate to the experiences that you've already spoken about?
Hold on. Just hold on to... I don't know, just hold on. Because there's always going to be people who hate us. And there'll always be someone. But just don't stop being you, because someone else doesn't like your decision. It's just be you, just be happy, and do what makes you happy. It's a no-brainer. Just stick around and keep going, because hopefully in 4 years you'll be gone and things can go back to normal.
Let's hope, hey. But for those watching who may be a part of the community, those who may just be an ally, or those understanding what it's like to be a transgender person in the 21st century and in 2025, what's the one thing they can take from it?
Again, just be you.
Just be you.
Just be you, yeah.
But, like, there are people that see you. Like, this isn't an identity that's ever going to be erased. Like, you're here, no one's ever gonna silence you, and you have every single right to be here just as much as the next. Thank you so much for watching today. If you feel like you need additional support after the podcast, we've linked resources below. Please like, share, subscribe, whatever you're listening to us on today, and download our Hidden Strength app.